Well,
You have a mic in your hand.
oh yeah. Let me have to turn it on. No.
Take the phone.
Well, I don't think this is this on? Okay.
Yeah.
The larger project was really repatriating the film footage and taking back. There's really 10 hours of 16mm film that's transferred, and since I took it back in 2006, they've had copies. We've made sure that they've had copies in the communities and also in the dialysis center, and people watch it pretty much all the time because it's one of the few documents in their own language. It's actually in a rather relatively classic form of the language. The version that people speak now is more mixed with the other regional dialects, but there's some generational switch. So it's, if you're on dialysis and you're in there for 4 or 5 hours, the 10 hours of footage in your own language with all your relatives in it is actually very good. When I went back, so the first thing that we heard from this first screening, people were very excited. I was very relieved that they liked it and that they were enthusiastic. But I heard soon afterwards from a friend of mine who was a nursing sister that they just kept talking about how healthy everybody looked and how well they were then. And then, so I really made me think that that we had to do something with the film material in relationship to that circumstance. And the project, so we wanted to find out, or I wanted to find out what people saw in the film. I was interested in historical consciousness, how they related to these images from the past, not just in terms of their seeing themselves, although that was very interesting as well, but just how they responded to it. And so we had a project with these consultants who were all people that I had known before in 2 different shifts, really, of about a week each, just going through the film footage and seeing what they said. And they all came up with the same kind of thematics of what they saw about health, about how strong the old people were in speaking in these communities. Something that's really, they feel in the present, people don't take responsibility for the community in the way that you see these people, the men in particular at these meetings that she was talking about. They were very interested in the way in which people shared food, and but that's still going on. These are things they thought were very important about them. It was one other theme, but so we had a lot of recording of all of them, but nobody was very cinematic in these things. We just didn't quite figure it out. So we had the footage. We thought, well, 10 hours is a lot. They like to watch it that way, but wouldn't it be nice if we could produce a shorter version that could be used to draw attention to these issues, and also in response to the very negative representation of the remote communities that was emerging in the Australian press. So, as you could see, that footage with me talking to Ian about Marlene was preceded the time when we were actually able to film her. She's a very busy woman. She's the spokesperson for the dialysis project. She'd been involved with the Pindaby Health Service. And so the last gasp was, I called the people at the dialysis project, and I said, they said, well, look, Marlene's coming into town. We're going to have a meeting. They said, we'll hold her here. I said, well, we'll pay for the hotel. Just keep her there till we come so we can do this interview. And we filmed it in Pip's motel room. And Pip said, thank God there was some, because all of our filming, there was always the beige wall. And so we finally had some, but anyway, you can see she got in front of the camera and she said, she just looked at us and she said, she started off, this is not where we started the interview here, but my name is Marlene Nabijinpa. I was born in the bush. And we just filmed for 6 hours.